Hi everybody, TheRealConcertKing here. This is my inaugural band interview. I'm here with Emma Ruth Rundle from Marriages, also singer-songwriter in her own right, formerly from Red Sparrows and Nocturnes and all sorts of good stuff. I'm very happy to be joined by her. First of all, great show.
Thank you.
And do you want to tell us how you got started playing music?
Wow. Okay.
Just kind of a general.
Sure. Both my parents were musicians. Are musicians. We just kind of grew up with it. Sort of just.
And what were your early influences like other artists?
Well, the first instrument I ever played was Celtic harp.
Did not know that.
Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't really know how to answer that.
Okay.
I mean, I started playing guitar because I really love Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah.
So I just would sit around and kind of. That is how I started playing guitar. Anyway.
So what other artists kind of did you grow up listening to and made you want to become a musician besides your parents? Being musicians.
I don't know that it was ever really a want to do thing. It was just sort of so growing up in Los Angeles with musical parents. It's just Andrew can testify to this. It's sort of something you inherit more than something that you. I want to do that. Yeah, performing was never something I wanted to do. Music itself is something that is and was a tradition, is something that has to be done.
Yeah.
Performance is a bit abnormal and sort of an afterthought. So music itself is something that I love. Performing is a completely different animal. Yeah.
And what's your writing process like? Is it different for when you write your own stuff compared to writing with Marriages, or?
Yes, it's very different. Writing alone.
More collaborative.
Yes, absolutely. With Marriages, it's a collaborative process between Andrew Plinko,
who is our cameraman,
and Greg Burns and I. We, someone will come up with an idea. We work together as a group and sort of try to flesh it out into a song. Whereas alone, it's just lots of noodling, feeling emo, lots of crying, all of that, and that's how it happens.
I don't know what that was.
That was an emo camera gesture. Sad.
You've played shows all over the world. Have you noticed any differences playing in different countries, crowd-wise?
Well, I want to say this because this is the first time anyone will ask something close to the question I want to be asked, which is, in the States alone, what is it like?
Okay, you can go with that.
The States, everywhere is different. It can't, the United States.
He's getting a little directorial over here.
It's as big as Europe, so. Every city you play in has a different vibe, has a very different audience, different people, different culture, and of course Europe is different as well. I've never played in Asia. I've never played in Australia. I don't know.
What's the response like in different parts of the country, different states?
It depends. It's really telling playing heavier music in bands like Red Sparrows or Marriages and playing in just the solo stuff. Places that have been my favorite cities, like Atlanta for heavy music, Red Sparrows, Marriages, usually a very, really, good show. People that are very responsive, very into the show. Playing solo, it's, sort of a dead scene. So everywhere is different. Everywhere has its own culture, has its own mentality about music. So every single place is different for everything that's going on. I can't speak to any specific place or time and say anything definitive about it for that reason.
All right. What about, do you have a dream tour, somebody that you'd love to tour with?
I've always said Helmsley because they're my favorite band. So it's been.
Well, then you're in luck because you're currently on tour with them.
Yeah.
Wait, they're called Helmsley?
Helmsley.
Oh, what?
Helmsley. Yes, they are my favorite
them?
band.
Oh, shit.
Well, that's awesome.
I listen to them.
They are a great band.
On repeat. And I don't listen to a lot of music anymore. So.
You're one of those.
Yeah. I've kind of just gotten jaded and really not listened to music anymore. And they remain one of my favorite bands. So when Sargent House signed Helmsley, it was just. The rainbows and stars were shooting out from my being.
You can't really go wrong with the Sargent House band, just in general.
Yeah, Kathy does a very, and Mark, wonderful job of curating a roster.
So what do you, speaking about Sargent House, what do you like about the current state of the music industry? Like the new developments?
Music industry, one of my most hated things. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like music industry.
You can say
ideas.
what you don't like. That was my next question.
Okay, what I don't like. I don't like. So much, I just left LA. I don't. There's criticisms. There's sinister-ish things. I don't know. Okay, at the bottom of it all, if it doesn't come from your heart or from somewhere in your body that makes you feel something, then it is not it's just not anything to me. To me, I don't know. Technicianship is something that I respect. I aspire to. I am too lazy to achieve. But the music industry, I know nothing about it really. I just kind of, do fiddle around by myself. But it's not something I want to be too involved in. I know that Sargent House does a wonderful job of mediating that world, and that they have a huge respect for the art.
What about like the more of a direct connection to between artists and fans as opposed to the way it used to be? Does that do anything for you?
Fans are everything. People that come to listen to music mean everything, because at least for any show that I've played, either solo or in a band, it's like somebody. Okay, there may be peripheral people, but there are people that come to see you, and even in these last few shows, there are people that I've seen faces that are familiar, such as yours. People that come repeatedly, it's like they're being touched or moved by something, and it's meaningful to them. And for me, as a musician and as a product of that being a performer, it's hugely meaningful and perpetuates the whole process to see somebody being affected by that. If that wasn't present, I don't know that there would be any reason to do this. Yeah, it's a very special thing.
So how do you feel about playing different kinds of venues? Like, do you have a preference about playing like a bar as opposed to a theater? Or
yeah, that's a good question. Well, yes. Well, with different music again, it's always a different crowd. But I will say that it is very detrimental to not have monitors, which are the things that you listen to yourself through when you are playing the music. If there aren't any monitors and you're a singer, it's very hard. In a theater, there's usually a more quiet, attentive audience. In a bar, it's usually rowdier. They like to hear drums. Drums have a huge role in how the audience reacts to a performance. People are drinking. No offense, I drink as well. They want to hear drums. They want to hear rhythms. They want to hear things that are impacting them physically.
The heavier stuff.
Yeah, well, heavy or not, something with rhythmic quality. And without that, the few tours I've done alone, it's a little harder to captivate people and get them to pay attention. So obviously, preference would be a good sound system and people who are there to listen, but you can't have expectations. You just show up and do what it is that you do.
That's good. I like that. So do you attend many concerts? Like, I know you go see your friends and stuff, and when you lived in LA. Do you have like a favorite show that you've ever seen?
Wow. Favorite show I've ever seen. I don't know. I don't attend many concerts anymore, no, because I think I'm going deaf. And being on tour more times than not. Yes, I do. I do have earplugs, but I've started taking them out now, which is a bad habit. But I don't go out much anymore. I prefer to be at home, and I enjoy listening to records more than I do going out to see bands. No offense to any bands, because I do love you. I don't know what the favorite show. What would be my favorite show? I think my favorite show was
Alice Cooper.
No. Well, Alice Cooper was amazing. That may have been my favorite show ever. Alice Cooper. Pretty hard to fucking touch that. But
kind of the original.
The OCs, I think, was my favorite show. Oh. I saw the OCs play at the Smell on the floor. It was very visceral. physical, impactful. It really took my breath away. So it's between the OCs and Alice Cooper. Take your pick.
All right. And since you were in Red Sparrows, an amazing instrumental band, a lot of people seem to have trouble getting into instrumental music, or kind of becoming a fan or listening to it or whatever. Do you have any thoughts as to why a lot of people don't seem to grasp instrumental as much as they probably should?
I think, well, it's probably some kind of, it's something that's someone who has a degree in evolutionary
Kind of a
biology
thing.
probably has more comment to make than I do that's valuable. But, vocalization is an important part of human development, and I think that it's very easy for people to attach themselves to somebody who's speaking or singing. I don't know. I don't understand it. One of my favorite bands to listen to on my own is Stars of the Lid. There's no singing.
Yeah, some of the greatest bands in the world are instrumental. I mean, Russian Circles, Red Sparrows,
Chopin.
I don't know. I don't know
music.
what that is. I don't know what that is. I mean, I have no comment.
And I guess my last question, kind of already answered it with, growing up with music and all that stuff. But if you weren't a musician, what do you think you would do? I know you're an artist. I don't know if you would do that, but
I would do that.
All right.
If I didn't do that, I would be a samurai.
It's a good career choice.
Swordsmanship.
All right. Thank you to Andrew from Marriages for his directorial brilliance over here, and thank you very much to Emma. This does it for my first artist interview. See you guys next time.
Awesome.